All right, this video, we're going to go over this Filebase. This is a program. It's pretty complex and has lots of really great features, which you can utilize some or as many as you want. So I'm going to kind of go over at least kind of an overview of what it does. A lot of it depends on how you want this to function, and that'll make more sense as I explain it more. So let's go into the, just dive into this WP Filebase over here on that left side all the way at the bottom. When I click on that, it brings me kind of this Filebase kind of dashboard right here, which allows me to add a file right within here. There's also a way, if I click on under here on the left, files, this will show me all of the files that are already uploaded and in this Filebase. Now, one thing to note is that the files that are uploaded through Filebase will not be the same as the files that are uploaded through the WordPress built-in media uploader. When you add, like for example, an image or a photo gallery, using that add image button at the top of like the posts and pages edit screen, that's a separate library than the WP Filebase. And the reason why we have two installed on here is because the WordPress built-in file library, the media library, is really good for photos, but not very good, at least yet, for things like documents and PDFs and that kind of thing. But what's really great about the Filebase is that, again, you have the ability, you can upload multiple, documents, but it has additional capabilities of things like categories of files. And the categories actually is a really, really cool function on this, and I'll get into that when I talk about how to actually embed the documents that we put through the WP Filebase onto the website. It is a two-step process, at least for the initial setup. So let's just go, and I'm going to go under the categories here and just create some categories. It's one thing that with the WP Filebase, it's best to create your categories first, and you'll see why that is helpful in the future. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a test category. I don't even know if it's anything spelled right. Number 1. The slug, the category folder, this is something like, for example, if you have a long category name, you can make a shorter, easier to remember, because this is also going to be it'll make a URL, a nice URL. So test 01. Look at that. Again, just like with categories of posts, you can have nested categories, so you can make this super complex, or you can make it not. And a description is optional. You can add a category icon, again, optional. These kinds of things are all optional. The custom sort order is helpful. For example, if you have something like you have a document library that you want to show all of the categories of the files, but then you can custom order them just like you do with pages. You can say that this is, and I order them in 10s. So let's say, and so that means it'd be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So then if I need to add something and I have 10 categories and they're, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I want to add something at 3, then I don't have to renumber all the ones at the end. I can just put it at, 35. Anyway, so I'm just going to say that, again, it's optional. It's something that that can be useful in the future if you do end up using this feature of it. Okay, so I'm just going to add this category. And so now we have one category. I'm going to go just add another one just so we have a couple as an example. Category number 2. And again, here's our parent. Notice that I can make it a subcategory of the test category number 1. I'm just going to keep this at that same level. And and put it at 20, so it would be the second one. If you don't put an order, it'll just default to like alphabetical. Okay, so now we have two categories of the files. Now if I go into my Filebase here, I'm just going to go on this top WP Filebase to get to my add file. This is just one location where this shows up. You can also add them through a post or a page. However, I really just like going through this. I feel like it's just easier because the navigation is a little bit wonky when you're actually adding a file through WP Filebase from a page or a post. So this just helps limit the confusion, especially since there is the other media library, which is separate, and it's just less confusing by going through from this navigation. So now I'm just going to go ahead, select a file. All right, here's a test PDF, and I can hit open, and it'll add this to this file. You can also do, just like in the other media library, you can drag and drop, but you'll have to drag and drop it to this little area. It shows you in the little dotted box, and it'll do the same thing. Okay, so now the file is uploaded. It's auto-populated this title with something that it thinks that it wants that I want the title to be. I can change that though. I can say, oh, I'm just going to actually still say test file number 1. You can add a version. So for example, if it's something that's going to change each year, you can have, let's say this is the 2014 version. You can have it version 1, version 2, all of that kind of stuff. Optional though. Author is also optional. And now here, category. Now because we added our 2 categories, we can just select one of these right from the upload. All of these other things, description, tags, and this custom stuff, it's all optional. I mean, you can add it if you'd like, but this is the main thing. So I just added those 3 things, and I go add file. Now it brings me right back to my my files and my files list, and I'm seeing this right here. My test file number 1, the file name, the size, description if I had added one, the category, etc. Now, this file is in the WP Filebase, but it's not on the website yet. It's within the backend, but not on the public facing side. So if I wanted to add this to a page, for example, I can go to my pages, and I can go and edit the page that I want to put this file that someone can download on this page. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it at the bottom of this page, in the Stay Connected page. So I have the cursor right there where I want it. This little icon with the green, I don't know what, the little discs with the files, whatever, that is the WP Filebase button. So I click on here once, and it brings up my model, my little WP Filebase modal. This is what I was talking about, how you can add a file right from here, but it is a little confusing. This is why I like doing through the WP Filebase menu directly. So now, because I already uploaded it, I want to add this single file. So I click on this tab of single file, and it brings my list of all of the things that I uploaded to the WP Filebase. Any of the folders will be up first. Anything else, like these are all just loose documents that are just within no folders. And I click on this little plus sign. It'll show me the files that are within each of the categories. So now I want to take, and I just click on it once, and it adds my file right there. If I go and preview the changes, you'll see here is my test file. This is just the default way that a single file, embedded file, will look like. It'll show you the title. It actually shows the file name, the version right there, And then it'll even say how many downloads it has, the size, all of that just does that automatically, and this is how it will look. So people can just click on that and download, and then that download counter will continue to rise as more and more people download it. So that is one way of adding a file, a single file. But now let's say you wanted to automate something and you had a page that has like permission forms or something that you're going to have multiple forms that it's going to be, you want to make it a little more streamlined. So that is why the categories come into play, very useful from this WP Filebase. Again, I uploaded the file, I created that category, and it's in that category. I'm going to add the category list to this page. So same process, I'm in here, I click on my WP Filebase button on this page where I want to add this list, and instead of the single file, I'm going to go to the file list. Now this allows me, if I wanted to, because I can create a whole page with just every document that I put in these different categories, and then it'll sort them in a whole long list of all of the documents and sorted by category. So it's really great for, like, here's a document library if someone is looking for all of the forms that have been uploaded to the site. But in this case, I just want this one test category. Let's say these are the newsletters, and then I want to keep uploading these PDF files into this one category folder. So then I can just go ahead and click on that. It'll check mark it, which meaning, okay, it's going to include this folder or category on this page. I can table, default. I'm just going to stick with default. It's fine. You can have, if you wanted, if there's like lots of files, you can say every 10 files, then make another page for pagination, or else, people can just scroll through all, 50 of them or 100 of them or whatever it is. And again, ascending, sort by file name. You can sort by date, all sorts of ways of sorting them. You can set that up right here and then just hit insert. Now, when I hit, I'll go preview these changes, and I'll flip over to my preview page. We're still going to just see one file right here because we only have one file in that category. However, now if I go back into WP Filebase, let me open up a new tab, because it's going to say, because I have not saved these, because I don't want this to be public on the site just for this testing purposes. So now I'm going to go and select files. Let's find another PDF. Sure, this sounds great. Don't know what it is. We'll go ahead. All right, now we're going to add that. Again, it's going to populate my title, author, version. Now here's the kicker. Make sure to add it to the same category. And if okay, that's good enough. I add the file. Now if I go here and reload, there it is, automatically showing both of the documents that are within that folder, that category. So that is an easy way to say, all right, here's going to be all of the newsletters. Create that category first and then upload all of the files in that category into the category. Then just take that category list and embed it onto a page. Then you don't have to touch the page ever again. Just upload the next document into that same folder, and it'll automatically update, because this list will just show all of the documents that are within that category. So that's one way of doing that. And this is right now, it just shows you all of these as the like each file looks differently. And when you have lots of files, it's gonna start getting probably pretty crazy. So here's another way of doing this. Let's go back to this button because it's nice and easy. I'll go to my file list option again. Again, I want to select my category. Let's make it as a table. Okay, and now I will insert there. Now let me preview the changes. Flip over to my preview window, which is over here, and there is like a table view with even a search box as well. So there's all sorts of ways to do that. And like I said before, adding something like a document library is the same concept, except we can do this. I'll go back over here. I can see a file tree view, which will display kind of like this. I can select all categories, and let's put it as a data table. I don't even know what that'll look like, but let's find out together. Display denomination. Okay, let's group categories. Sure, let's do that. Category order. Category name. We'll just leave it as all the defaults, and let's see what happens. All right, let's preview the changes. Let's see what we've got. Let's go over to our preview window. Well, right now we only have 2 files within that one folder, but now if we had multiple categories, it would show all of the documents within that category in one area, and then all of the ones in this category, and there it would just be one long list of everything. So that is some of the cool things you can do with this Filebase program, and just play around with it and kind of figure out what a strategy is if you want to create those categories right away, and then it'll make it easier down the road. And that is it.